How to solve the volume of a cylinder. A cylinder is a shape with two round faces at the top and the bottom. Don't mind my diagram. Alright, so we have the distance from the center of the circle to the part of the circle is your radius, and then we have a formula to use whenever we want to solve the volume of a cylinder, and the formula is pi times r square times h. Pi, which happens to be a constant value of 22 all over 7, and the r there means radius, and then the h means height, and then the volume of a cylinder can be calculated using the formula pi multiplied by radius square multiplied by height. Now we have an example. Let the diameter of a circular end of cylindrical pipe be 1.4 meter and its length be 2.5 meter. Calculate the volume of the cylinder. Now we can see in bracket here pi equals 22 over 7, which means we were given the pi from the question. Now remember I said the volume of a cylinder is pi r square h, which means pi multiplied by r square, which is your radius, multiplied by h, which is your height. But in the question we were given diameter. Since you were given diameter, you would have to convert diameter into radius, so you would have the value of the radius needed for this formula. How then do you convert diameter into radius? First, diameter equals 2 multiplied by r. Hence, radius equals diameter divided by 2. So in this case, our diameter from the question is 1.4 meter divided by 2, which will give us 0.7 meter. Now we have our radius. Then we can say volume equals 22 over 7 multiplied by 0.7 multiplied by 0.7 multiplied by our length is also going to be used as the height, as the question implies. So we take this as our height, 2.5. Remember from the previous video I explained how to change decimal into fraction. So we'll just have the next thing to be 22 over 7 multiplied by, since we have one number after decimal point, it will become 7 over 10, the first power of 10. If we had two numbers after decimal point, it would be over 100. So you can go and watch that video so you would understand how to change decimal into fraction, then the same thing will be applicable here. We'll have 7 over 10 multiplied by, in this case, since there wasn't any sign of 0 here, we have 2 here, so we are just going to write 25 over 10. Had it been it was 0, we would have ignored the 0 and write 5 over 10. But because we have 2.5, we're going to change that to be 25 over 10. Remember, you remove the decimal points, write down the number, and consider how many numbers were after the decimal point. So in this case, we just have one number at the decimal point, and that becomes 25 over 10. Now it will be easier for us to begin to break this into smaller parts. 7 here is 1, 7 here is 1. And then we have 2, which is 22, multiplied by 1, multiplied by 7, multiplied by 25. We can still break this into smaller bits. 5 can divide 25 to give us 5. 5 can divide 10 to give us 2. 5 can divide itself to give us 1. 5 can divide 10 to give us 2. I think we can still divide this further. 2 can divide itself to give us 1, and 2 can divide 22 to give us 11. Now, what we have as our numerators are 11, 1, 7, and 1. So you have to multiply all the numerators together all over the denominator. So 11 multiplied by 1 is 11, multiplied by 7 is 77. 77 multiplied by 1 is 77. You have 77. Then, what is our denominator? 1 multiplied by 10 is 10, multiplied by 1 is 10, multiplied by 2 is 20. So we have 20. And in this case, our final answer will be 3.85 meter cube. And that is our volume. You might be wondering how we got this as our answer. Well, 20 in 77 can be 3 times, and then you have the remainder. When you do your long division method, which will be posted later on this channel, you will get 0.85. When you add them together, you have 3.85. If you're not